18 of 19 series are aligned with stagflation mild this morning. That is the strongest confirmation we have measured in several weeks. The current macro regime is stagflation mild, with a confirmation score of 18 out of 19. The engine is observing stagflation mild, an environment where growth momentum decelerates at -0.6102, while inflation momentum accelerates at +0.0081 simultaneously. The macro regime captures this mathematical signature across our systematic framework. The coherence score registers moderate confidence, while the confirmation score of 18 out of 19 represents substantial agreement across asset classes. Historically, this level of alignment has persisted in 52% of comparable instances over 3-month periods when reached from similar starting conditions. Compared to recent measurements, this confirmation score represents a meaningful increase in systematic alignment, suggesting the stagflationary configuration is strengthening rather than dissipating. Environments like this have historically coincided with compressed equity multiples, elevated sector rotation, and persistent commodity volatility, mathematical observations of how markets have behaved under similar systematic pressure. Looking at 4 key signals this morning. 10-year Treasury yields show mixed momentum patterns, with the rate of change within one standard deviation of its rolling mean, neither accelerating nor decelerating significantly. In 8 of 11 comparable periods when yields remained range-bound during stagflation regimes, fixed income volatility increased within 6 weeks. Payroll momentum registers red, defined as the 30-day rate of change below the 30th percentile of its 2-year distribution. In 9 of 12 instances when employment data weakened while inflation pressures built, Federal Reserve policy recalibration occurred within 3 months. High-yield credit spreads demonstrate green momentum, with spreads tightening above the 75th percentile of recent performance. In 7 of 9 historical cases when credit conditions improved during mild stagflation, equity markets experienced sustained sector rotation patterns within 4 weeks. Technology sector momentum shows strong acceleration, with relative performance above the 85th percentile of its rolling distribution. In 6 of 8 comparable periods, this sector strength coincided with defensive positioning in other asset classes within the following month. The conditional map shows 2 critical triggers being monitored. If the 10-year yield crosses 4.45% and holds for 5 consecutive sessions, inflation composite data historically showed acceleration in 9 of 11 similar instances. This would increase the mathematical case for an expansion to acceleration transition under our regime framework. If the Fear and Greed Index drops below 15 and holds for 5 consecutive sessions, confirmation scores deteriorated in 7 of 9 instances. This would formally lower our confidence level and trigger regime watch protocols. The map is live. These conditions are being monitored daily across all 19 series. Atlas is the automated rules-based engine inside Given Analytics. It does 2 things in parallel. First, it publishes a view of the macro environment, the regime, the confirmation score, and the historical base rates we just covered. Second, it runs a fixed 4-layer mathematical framework: price structure, rate of change, risk regime, and market participation, across 407 liquid symbols every trading day. When all 4 layers agree on a symbol, Atlas records it as a potential long or potential short condition under the framework. These are time-stamped model readings, logged for members to study. The environment view and the condition log sit side by side inside Atlas. They are separate outputs. The regime does not pick the symbols. The 4 layers do. Atlas monitors 407 symbols independently of any regime label. Members use Atlas to study how the framework has recorded conditions across prior environments, as historical behavior, not as trade selection. The system operates with mathematical precision, creating an educational archive of how these conditions have evolved. Atlas runs the framework. You study the outputs and environment. You decide what to do next. These may represent potential conditions for educational study only. The morning brief is the public surface. The live Atlas dashboard shows the full 19 series regime map, today's mathematical conditions across 407 symbols, and the historical archive side by side. Members study the environment and the Atlas outputs each morning. The complete framework operates in real time, measuring conditions as they develop across all monitored series. If you want to track this alongside us, the live view is at givenanalytics.com. These are historical mathematical observations, not predictions and not advice. Given Analytics is not a registered investment advisor. Hypothetical results may vary from actual results. Market conditions can change at any time, not investment advice. givenanalytics.com/disclaimer